Welcome back everybody, I hope you're having a great day today and I hope you're ready for today's episode. Before we do get into the episode, I want to mention how funny your comments were about Nez being in the basket in the last episode. Like this comment, "Babe, wake up, Nez is in the basket today. Our queen Nez is back in the basket." And this one too. My girlfriend and I have a calico that has the exact same body as Nez. Her name is Arwen, but I call her Empress Plumpus more often than... That's so funny. More often than not. I'm definitely going to use that, Empress Plumpus. You guys are so awesome. I really appreciate the support. For today's episode, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 stories to read. Oh my god, we better get started. Am I the gay hole for never mentioning to my girlfriend that my teeth are not real? Hello, that is a burner account, reasons are obvious. Empress Plumpus has already left the basket. Hopefully she comes back soon. I, 38 male, had problems with my teeth since I was a teenager. By my mid-20s, I'd done so many root canal treatments that my dentist recommended that in the long run, it'd be cheaper and less painful to get permanent dental implants. I had constant issues with my teeth, so I did it. They removed all of my teeth, including a few that did not cause issue. And I got implants. And suddenly there was one constant annoying thing less in my life. And eventually I forgot about it. 3 years ago, I met my current girlfriend, 34 female, and we've been living together for a year. Recently, she had problem with one tooth and found out that she needed the root canal treatment and told me, "I wish I had such good teeth as you." And I realized that she doesn't even know. And I jokingly said, "Oh, those are not mine, I got those in 2013. Suddenly she was mad at me that I kept such a secret for all that time from her, that I was hiding the truth. I tried to explain that I'm so used to it that I just didn't even think about it. Yeah, no, that's definitely different from hiding the truth. Hiding the truth is more like when you know that you should tell somebody something because they should know that, or they need to know that, and you're purposely not telling them because you don't want to tell them. Like you said, OP, you didn't even think about it. She thinks that I'm an a-hole and that it's a lie of omission. Of course, she got some of our friends included into that discussion and some agreed that it does not affect her, and some think that people should tell those things. Am I the a-hole? Note, I'm not asking any kind of advice here. What I'm asking is, does forgetting to talk about such detail make me an a-hole? The top comment says not the a-hole. I'd get surprised, but mad? No, what's she even mad about? It's totally understandable that you just never mentioned it because you didn't think about it. Because who cares? She's an a-hole for making drama out of this, not considering your point of view and picking fights instead of communicating, and also involving friends. A non-dramatic girlfriend would laugh about it. Yeah, 100% making a deal about something that definitely did not need to be a deal, making drama that didn't need to be there, and yeah, like that comment said, you'd be surprised, but angry? Nah. The comment below that one says not the a-hole. That's a really strange thing to get mad about. Can she explain why she thinks it's a lie? Did she specifically get together with you because of your teeth or what? I would also be concerned about the fact that she brought a bunch of friends into your fight. Is that something that you're okay about? OP responded to a different comment and said she's mad because I didn't share everything with her. We both have kids from previous relationships and we don't plan to have more. Right, so angry because you didn't share everything with her. Yeah, but you weren't hiding the truth. You just saw no reason to bring it up. And also, you weren't even thinking about it. And by the sounds of it, it never even crossed your mind. By the sounds of it, you weren't purposely hiding the truth. A comment says not the a-hole. There's a difference between intentionally keeping a secret or committing a lie of omission and just simply never having thought to mention something because it never came up. It is a little bit surprising that after 3 years together you wouldn't have had a conversation about any major illnesses or operations, but it's not so strange as to be unbelievable. It's kind of odd though that she feels that you must have intentionally obscured this information, then believing you when you say that you never thought about it. Something as minor as this shouldn't shake her trust in you that much. Yeah, 100% definitely a not the a-hole consensus. Okay, it seems like Jin is interested in the basket. Maybe no, is he leaving? No, he's leaving again. We're catless. No cat next to me. I can't believe this. Post number 2. Am I the a-hole for correctly guessing my friend's baby's sex? On the weekend, my wife, 38 female, and I, 38 male, went to our friend's gender reveal. For background information, our friend already has 2 boys, and she told my wife that she was hoping for a girl this time. In the car on the way there, my wife asked me what gender I thought the baby would be. I said that given that the sex ratio at birth is about 105 boys for every 100 girls, that my guess is that this child would be a boy. My wife said that given that our friends had 2 boys already, that surely there'd be more chance of a girl this time. I replied that the 2 boys were not relevant to the sex of the child, and that there was still about a 51% chance that this child would be a boy. At the gender reveal, it was announced that this child would also be a boy. Although her friend tried to appear happy at the party, it was pretty clear that she was disappointed that this child would not be a girl. My wife also appeared to be disappointed as well. On the drive back home, my wife got angry with me and said that I could have been more supportive and that I shouldn't have been so mathematical with my guess about the baby's sex. Edited to add, could have been more supportive, referred to my guess that the child would be a boy and my reasoning for that guess. I told her that my response was perfectly reasonable to what she asked me. She didn't like that and she stayed quiet for the rest of the drive home. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? On the weekend, my wife and I went to our friend's gender reveal party. In the car on the way there, my wife asked me what gender I thought the baby would be. So it's only you and your wife in the car, right? But your wife is upset at you that you weren't supportive. And what she means by that is she's angry that you guessed in the car with her that the baby was going to be a boy. So it's not like you were unsupportive around the friend. Your wife's annoyed at you because you guessed it was going to be a boy. What? Like it's your fault that it was a boy? Wait, so she's not even upset that you were unsupportive at the gender reveal party. Could have been supportive referred to my guess that the child would be a boy and my reasoning for that guess, which happened in the car on the way to the gender reveal. Yeah, this comment, it really feels like she's blaming OP for the kid being a boy, like his prediction somehow made it happen. Magical thinking is the right phrase for this. Yeah, I'm so confused. How is that you being unsupportive? Unless you were actually unsupportive to the friend. But it doesn't say that's what happened. This comment says not the a-hole. You answered the damn question that you were asked. Your wife wanted you to participate in magical thinking, not give an honest answer. You gave a factual answer and you didn't announce it at the party or rain on anybody's parade. You simply answered your wife's question with your genuine thought process. Your prediction didn't cause the baby's sex for f***'s sake. You were just acknowledging reality. The problem isn't your mathematics. It's that people sometimes want comfort more than truth. This is not on you. It's misdirected emotion. The comment below that says not the a-hole. No matter what you said, it wouldn't have changed the sex of the baby. I have no idea what being supportive would have done to help the situation. You said this to your wife, not the friend. You weren't rubbing anything in her face or shitting on what she was hoping for. You had a private conversation with your wife. Yeah. I guess that your wife's lashing out and taking out the disappointment on you. So I wouldn't take that personally, but once a little time has passed and she can get some perspective on this, I'd revisit this with her and I'd ask her why she felt the need to take it out on you. Yeah, and maybe show her this post. I don't know if that would make it better or worse. Yeah, definitely misdirected emotion. Or there's something else going on, and this isn't the real issue. Story number 3. Am I the a-hole for not taking down my yard flamingos after neighbors complained? I bought a house a couple of years ago and I've been working on making it look nicer. I spent a lot of time redoing the front gardens, trying to make it look neat and nice. A few weeks ago was at a greenhouse buying some plants for the garden, and I saw 2 yard flamingos that were marked down. I knew that they belonged in my garden. They're not everybody's cup of tea, but I think they're fun. I set them up when I got home, and a couple of days later my neighbor was knocking on my door. She was demanding that I take down my flamingos because they're extremely gauche and lowering the property value of the neighborhood. Oh my god. I told her that I'm not taking them down because I like them, and the property value isn't going to be hurt by 2 yard flamingos. And I also don't live in an HOA as far as I'm aware, so there are no town ordinances about yard flamingos. She posted pictures of my house, the street that I live on, and a close-up of my flamingos in our town's Facebook group to complain about them. Oh my god. Some people agreed that I should take them down. After that, another neighbor came over to tell me to get rid of them. My mum also agreed that I should take them down to keep the peace with my neighbor. This is terrible. I like them. I smile when I see them when I pull into my driveway, and I have no plans to take them down. Am I the a-hole for not taking down my yard flamingos after some neighbors complained? Edit, everybody keeps on suggesting garden gnomes. I kinda hate those a lot, but also I'd never say anything to somebody with a yard full of gnomes, but I won't buy them. Yeah, so are you the a-hole for having some garden decorations on your own property? Of course not. The audacity of these people to feel like they can tell you what to do on your own property. I'd never seen yard flamingos before, so I googled them. And yeah, they're cute little pink flamingos that have like a stick that you put into the ground. Oh no, the horror! It's a pink flamingo! And to take photos of your property and then post them in a Facebook group. What an a-hole. Yeah, this comment, not the a-hole. It's your yard, you can do what you want. Although the only appropriate response is to bulk order like 500 pink flamingos and absolutely cover your yard with them. So you should get on that. Okay, Nez is back, everybody. I'm so unbelievably happy about this. Yeah, also like this comment says, not the a-hole, I'd be petty and I'd add a new flamingo every time they complain. Yeah, this one's infuriating. Like, not only telling OP what OP should do on their own property, but the posting photos of their place on Facebook. The fact that they feel like they can even do that, that's terrible. Definitely not the a-hole OP, and by the sounds of it, you need to get some more flamingos. Post number 4. Am I the a-hole for not laughing when my husband joked about my hobby job in front of his boss? Already don't like this one. Oh god. Throwaway account because my main one is linked to some of my work. My husband was invited to this work dinner at his boss's house, and his whole office was invited. My husband does have a higher paying job than mine, and it doesn't really bother me because I love what I do, but he does lack interest in my work because of it. Wait, so he lacks interest in your job because it earns less than his?
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
The first iffy thing was when we were getting ready. He gave me a check or something like that where he gave me the rundown of dinner etiquette. I know dinner etiquette. My parents used to host these kinds of dinners all the time. So yeah, I know how to act and how to behave. All of his co-workers were going to the dinner and they brought their wives with them. So it was pretty packed. Dinner was nice until we were at the dessert portions and my husband's co-workers started talking about their wives and their hobbies. My husband brought up my hobby. I'm a journalist and I write stuff once in a while. He talked about some of the stuff that I've written describing it as silly. I didn't say anything and I smiled awkwardly, but he kept on going, saying that he doesn't read my stuff because he doesn't want to be all up in my head. When we got home, I talked to him about the jokes, and I said that I didn't find them funny, but rather somewhat offensive and disrespectful towards my work. He told me to learn how to take a joke. I tried to ignore it, so I kept doing my thing, but then he started getting handsy and I rejected his advances because I was still sour about dinner, and he got upset about it. So we went on and on about the dinner thing. I wasn't even addressing him making fun of me. I was upset over the hobby thing, because it's not a hobby. It's my line of work which I love and I'm very passionate about. He admitted to maybe being in the wrong for the jokes, but they were based on fact. Oh god, get rid of him. I grew up significantly wealthier than him. I do not leech off my parents, nor do they send me money out of free will. My parents have never said or done anything to make him feel inferior, and they get along very well. Oh, these people that tie up their own self-worth into their bloody income is so annoying. We met when I was going through some sort of a hippie phase. I wasn't talking to my parents and I did not get along well with them. I was some manic pixie dream girl at the time and I think he got way too attached to that version of me. I was 25 and I'm now 32. He called me dull and compared me to my mum, which isn't bad in of itself, but he said that it was an insult and said that I was becoming a suburban mum. We have a son, he's 2. I feel like he doesn't really appreciate me as a person or care about me as much as a husband should for his wife. I get what he's saying, but I'm getting older. I'm a mum and I'm advancing in my career and I have a lot on my plate apart from that. I do love my husband. I'm married and I started a family with him for a reason, but maybe I took the joke too serious. No, it wasn't even a joke. I'm not sure if I blew it too out of proportion because I asked my friends and they said that maybe I took it too serious. Am I the a-hole? No, and it wasn't about taking a joke because it wasn't a joke. Oh yeah, you're making fun of your wife, bro. You're so funny. God, this is sad. Yeah, like this comment says, it's only a joke if you're laughing. You started life with this man who's been hiding his true feelings from you. Where do you expect it to go from here? You heard what he really thinks about his wife and mother of his child. What are you gonna do about it? Yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole. Your husband is a super douche, not only for putting you down, but also for not thinking that he did anything wrong. Yes, so aggravating. Oh, it's a hobby? Haha, it's a joke. Why aren't you laughing? Where's the funny part? And then not even apologizing. Post number 5 says, am I the a-hole for keeping my son away from my mum because she fed him custard? And before we read this one, it has an everybody sucks here label. So the verdict is that everybody sucks. My wife 30s and I also 30s have a baby boy. Last year we flew across the country with him to attend a family reunion and visit my parents. Things were going well until my wife caught my mum 68 trying to feed our baby custard off a spoon. Against 2 of our clear rules, no sugar before 1 year old and no spoon feeding. We're doing BLW, which means baby-led weaning. It's an alternative method for introducing complementary foods to infants, in which the infant feeds themselves handheld foods, instead of being spoon-fed by an adult. My wife and mum had discussed feeding boundaries at length for weeks, and our 6-month-old had just started solids. Since our son's birth, my mum's increasingly ignored boundaries. The first issue that we had was her demanding photos at 9 a.m, despite our previous ask for no photo requests before 10 a.m. Her reasoning, Rules don't apply to grandma. When caught with the custard, my wife immediately took our son and left the room upset without saying a word. I stayed behind and I asked my mum why she didn't ask first, and she said, because I knew that you'd say no. I was livid. This showed that she knowingly overrode our parenting decisions, and later she tried to brush it off as sarcasm. My mum's sister, who witnessed it, validated the reaction of my wife. The next day we sat my parents down to talk about it. My mum initially apologised but quickly backpedaled, changing details. It was a fork, not a spoon. He just reached for it. Things got heated. My dad said that we were being harsh, and then later my mum claimed that my wife screamed at her. Neither of us remember screaming, but we aren't gonna gaslight her. We ended the trip early and we pulled back communication. My wife, who had been sending daily photos and videos, stopped completely. I now send occasional ones. We tried working on things. My wife proposed an exercise where they'd answer questions about their grandparent expectations, and we'd discuss them together. We agreed that they could attend our son's first birthday if we completed the exercise, and they agreed. After multiple reschedules, due to my wife's postpartum struggles, we finally set a time last minute, but my mum refused to get dressed to be on video, saying that I called every shot so far, and that she'd just listen off camera. My wife felt slighted and revoked their birthday invitation. My mum later gave a veiled threat and then a different excuse, but the damage was done and we withdrew further. After further reflection and therapy, we told them that we need them to seek therapy before resuming visits. Their response mentioned the screaming again and uncertainty if this will work out, but then still were asking for photos for every once in a while. Since then, I've kept casual conversation open, but I deflect photo and visit requests until they start therapy. So am I the a-hole for holding this boundary until therapy happens? Is my wife the a-hole for yelling or revoking the daily photos in response? For context, they were present at his birth and had 2 good visits where my mum respected boundaries, which made this breach feel even more shocking. The top comment says, everybody sucks here. Initially, I totally understand you guys being upset. However, the behaviour around that video call sounds insane. You expected them to give you infinite leeway on rescheduling due to your boundaries, but when your mum said that she'd rather stay off video, that's an unsurmountable hurdle. If you want this to be the end of your relationship with your parents, you can continue with that mindset that you currently have, that your accommodations are necessary and hers are unjust demands. But if you'd actually like to mend this bridge, I'd consider acting like people on both sides are humans that deserve some grace. This comment says, you the a-hole. Really? This escalated that much over a spoon of custard? I mean, whatever, blow up your relationship with your parents and deprive your son a relationship with his grandparents if you want to. It's your call, but a pretty petty one if there's nothing else going on here. And the response says, I can't imagine living life so wound tight as this couple seems to be. Even down to the rules on what time pictures can be sent. Yeah, sounds exhausting. Yeah, I felt like the picture thing was pretty wild too. What did they say? Her demanding photos at 9 a.m. despite our previous ask for no photo request before 10 a.m. This comment says, everybody sucks here, but mainly you. Yeah, your mum overstepped with the custard. She should have asked first, but you blew it completely out of proportion. Are you really okay with destroying the relationship with your mum over a spoon of custard? Your expectations about parenting your baby are unrealistic. Grandmas and other relatives will try to spoil your kid and feed him sugar. That's what grandparents are for. But that won't hurt or developmentally delay your child. They'll also expose him to different point of views and mindsets and lifestyles. And that's not a bad thing. It'll just help him bond with his grandparents or relatives. Children aren't stupid. They're perfectly capable of distinguishing between home and grandma's house and the particular rules. You should focus on the important stuff and make rules about that. Don't be the helicopter parents. Your child needs different experiences to grow and develop. The comment above that one says, you the a-hole. Oof, there's a lot going on here. Your wife seems so over the top, it's hard to be on your side. Is she getting help for her postpartum struggles? I very much hope so. Yeah, your mum was wrong for the custard, but discussing feeding boundaries for weeks sounds insane. And also a boundary of 10 a.m. texts instead of 9 a.m.? That sounds like a you problem. Is she spamming you with text at that time? Why can't you just ignore until it's a convenient time for you? The expectation exercise also sounds over the top, but they agreed. Yet you cancel multiple times, and then you lose it last minute when your mum doesn't want to be on the camera, and this causes your wife to uninvite them? Again, I think she needs some serious help. Is this actually what you want your relationship and your kid's relationship with your parents to be? Support your wife, yeah, but most of this is concerning. Yeah, very much a you the a-hole, everybody sucks here consensus. Goodbye, Naz. She's sitting over there and she looks so cute. Okay, the next one, story 6. Am I the a-hole for supporting my son grooming himself when my wife says that he's too young? My wife, 39 female, and I, 41 male, have a 13-year-old son who recently came to me with a personal question. Was it okay for him to shave down there? I was surprised, but I stayed calm. I told him that it was normal to want to feel clean or tidy, and that body grooming is a personal choice. I made sure that he wasn't feeling pressured by anybody, and I reminded him that hygiene and safety come first. He asked if I could help him get a trimmer, and I said yes. Later that night, I told my wife thinking that she'd appreciate how open he felt with me. Instead, though, she was upset. She said that 13 is too young to be thinking about that, and that I was encouraging adult behavior. I told her it's not like inherently sexual or something. It's about body comfort and ownership. She strongly disagreed and said that I should have waited until they could both be present to talk about it. I explained that it was a private moment between father and son, and I didn't want to shame him or make him feel weird about asking. She said that I went behind her back. Oh, that hurts to read. You went behind her back? No, you didn't. Yeah, it was a private moment, and you didn't want to shame him or make him feel weird about asking. How is that you going behind her back? Oh my god. And this led to a bigger argument. She started to question how we handle other topics like body image and puberty and screen time. She asked me to return the trimmer. I said no. I told her we need to be aligned, but I'm not going to punish our son for being open and responsible. To be completely clear, we've always been open about bodies and development, but this seems to have triggered something deeper in her. She does come from a more conservative upbringing and has always been a bit anxious about our son growing up too fast. Since then, she's been cold with both of us. She told me that she feels undermined. Our son has picked up on the tension and now feels awkward even talking about normal hygiene stuff. We're now in a bit of a standoff. I've tried to bring it up gently, suggesting that we talk with a therapist together about how we approach puberty topics, but she thinks that I'm being too dramatic. Oh my god. Her sister, who has older teenagers, told her that I did the right thing and that this isn't a big deal. But my wife thinks that's just modern parenting gone too far. So now I'm wondering, am I the a-hole for supporting our son in a private grooming choice without looping in my wife first? No, you're not, and you're right, OP. Your son came to you about something that your son probably felt a bit awkward about. You were determined to reassure your son. If you were like, hang on, son, I don't know how to answer you, so I'm going to talk to my wife about it and then we'll talk to you about it. Like you said, your son would have felt super awkward about it. You were being a good parent. Is she the a-hole for reacting this strongly and creating shame around something that could have been handled with less drama? Yeah, 100%. For what it's worth, I also told our son that if he ever feels uncomfortable or unsure about any body stuff, he can talk to either of us and that we love him no matter what. Yeah, this comment, not the a-hole. I see why he went to you and not to her. She needs to get a grip. 100%. She's in the wrong here, OP. The second top comment says, Jesus f***ing Christ. What normal 13-year-old boy wouldn't want to talk to his mum about his pubic hair? Your wife is thinking more about her own feelings than her son's, not the a-hole. Yeah, actually unbelievable. Like from what you've said, the entire time you were thinking about the feelings of your son. You want your son to feel like he can talk to you about stuff. You don't want him to feel shame about anything. You don't want him to feel awkward. And you did a good job. And also, she completely blew this situation out of proportion, made a big deal about nothing, and then tells OP that OP's being too dramatic, and now she's being cold to you and your son? This comment says, not the a-hole, you need to have a talk with your wife. She's coming off very controlling, and her fear of your son growing up too fast is going to create a rift that's going to ruin her relationship with him. And you. The way that your wife's handling this is an incredibly concerning response. I would suggest therapy, depending on how cold she's being. This could be a much bigger issue. She thinks that you're being dramatic, but she's going nuclear over this. You need to head this off ASAP and be dead serious with her that this reaction is not okay and that you all need to make an active choice together about moving forward in a healthy way, which probably does mean therapy. The next one, am I the a-hole for refusing to babysit my sister's kids when she had an important work dinner? I, 24 female, am currently working full-time while taking night classes for my master's degree. My schedule is packed. My sister, 30 female, has 2 kids, 4 and 6, and constantly asks me to babysit last minute. Like I've helped her out at least 15 different times in the past 3 months alone, sometimes with 2 hours notice. I've missed study groups, rescheduled meetings, even called out sick once to help her. I love my niece and nephew, but oh my god, it's getting ridiculous. Yesterday she texted me at 4 p.m. asking if I could watch the kids from 6 to 11 p.m. because her regular sitter cancelled. I had a huge exam the next morning worth 40% of my grade that I needed to study for. I told her I couldn't this time, and I suggested that she try the babysitting app that I showed her before. She freaked out saying that it was an important work thing and I was the only person she trusted. I stood my ground for once and said no. She ended up missing her work event. Now my whole family's blowing up my phone. Why? Apparently the work thing was actually a dinner with her boss where they were discussing a promotion. My parents are saying that I'm selfish and I should have studied earlier. As if grad school works that way, lol. Now my sister's giving me the silent treatment and posted a vague Facebook status about people who don't value family. Like what? I've dropped everything for her kids so many times, but the one time I prioritized my education, I'm the villain? I feel bad about the promotion thing, but also I feel like I'm becoming her adult childcare without any consideration for my life. Am I the a-hole for refusing to be her emergency babysitter this one time? No, of course not. The entitlement here is so wild. And the posting a Facebook status about people not valuing family? Oh, that's infuriating. The top comment says, not the a-hole, keep reiterating that you were asked last minute, the night before a major exam worth 40% of your grade. And you already babysit at the drop of a hat, often making personal sacrifices to do so, which is already an unreasonable expectation. You don't owe her the sacrifice of your future so that she can have kids with no drawbacks to her life. These are not your kids. It's not your responsibility. If in a crazy spin of the wheel of fate, two important events coincide and one of you has to sacrifice something in order for her kids to be looked after, she's the one who's going to have to make the sacrifice because they're her kids. You must feel like you're taking crazy pills. If I were you, I'd tell them their attitude is so wrong that you're backing off from making any sacrifices to babysit her kids entirely. It's like no good deed goes unpunished. Maybe after her life starts suffering when she has to make her own sacrifices more often, rather than you making them in her place, she might start appreciating what you've been doing for her so far, and maybe give up the expectation that her life always comes before yours. You won't hold your breath though. This comment says, I'd seriously never babysit for her again. She's built up this entitlement with all of her last minute shenanigans, which you've complied with. Now it's time to change that dynamic entirely by not allowing it any longer. It's not as if you're getting credit for all the times you have moved your plans around. You're getting denigrated for saying no once. One damn time. So change it up. Make a statement about it beforehand, or not, but don't babysit for her again. She's lost her rights to your time by being a total a-hole to you. Anybody who's giving you crap about it can babysit for her. Done, not the a-hole. Yeah, the entitlement. You're so not the a-hole, OP. Am I the a-hole for buying myself something expensive right before my friend's wedding? One of my best friends is getting married next month, and all of us were supposed to hold off on any big purchases until after, because we'd agreed to chip in for some surprise gifts and some other stuff for their honeymoon. I was totally on board when we talked about it months ago, but a few weeks back I ended up grabbing something for myself I'd been wanting for a long time. Honestly, it only happened because I randomly checked the balance that I had on Jackpot City. Not even sure when it added up, but it felt dumb not to finally use it, especially because it was sitting there doing nothing. I bought myself a new watch, nothing insane, but it was around $1,500, and I figured that I'd still have enough left to help with the wedding stuff too. It felt like a win after a rough year, and honestly at the time it made sense to me. OP, you're not the a-hole for spending your own money. Like what, you're not allowed to make any big purchases, even if you can afford them and it doesn't affect anything? Why? You're allowed to spend your own money. Now another friend found out and is giving me grief about it, saying that I broke the agreement and that it looks selfish. What? He's making it sound like I completely abandoned the plan when in reality I still fully intend to put my share towards the gift. It feels like they're acting like I spent their money or something, which makes no sense to me. I get that the timing probably looks bad, but it's not like I went and blew everything or said that I wasn't paying. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. I already told them I'd cover my part no matter what. Well, then it definitely shouldn't be an issue. Was I actually wrong for doing it if I still plan on holding up my side of the deal? Of course not. What, your friends have got control over your finances? Nah. The top comment says this is an extremely weird friend group, and the comment below that, not the a-hole, you can spend your money how you want. Yeah, of course you can. Especially if you're still gonna do what you said you were gonna do, and you buying yourself a watch isn't gonna affect that at all, then yeah, of course you can. What are the friends talking about? You're being selfish? No, you're not. The comment below that says not the a-hole, but I think you've got weird friends. Yeah, and the comment below that, what the f*** is this? You can't spend your money because your friend's getting married? Yeah, legit, what are they talking about? The comment below that says not the a-hole. Excuse me? Your friends are dictating to you about what you spend on yourself. No. Your money is your money. If it works for your budget, then why shouldn't you treat yourself? Does your friend think that he has dibs on your entire bank account? You're not being selfish at all. Yeah, what are the friends even talking about? That's so ridiculous. And definitely a good time to read something wholesome. That was such a fun episode, and I hope you guys had a good time today. The wholesome meme is so cute today. A cat born to convey an important message. So unbelievably beautiful. This beautiful kitty cat has 3 different love hearts. One here, one further down, and one on their legs. So unbelievably cute. And also built very similar to Nez. So round and cute. Thank you for watching today's episode, everybody. I hope you had a great time today. If you did, make sure you subscribe if you want to, and definitely let me know what you thought in the comments. And the comment of the day goes to Strawberry Belle. Nez has such a cute round face. So adorable and so peaceful. Truly a blessing on this day. Strawberry Belle, I could not agree more. That is such a good comment. Thank you for commenting this. Truly a blessing on this day. I appreciate this comment, and I know Nez does too. Thank you for the support, everybody. It means so much to me. I'm sure you can tell, but I'm trying to make the videos a little bit longer and a little bit longer. I'm definitely not ready to jump back into like super long episodes, but yeah, definitely slowly getting back to longer episodes. And yeah, thank you for watching them. I'll see you in the next episode. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every other day. Bye!